Volunteer Week at your TV Niagara gives us a chance to celebrate the many volunteers who make our community what it is here in Niagara. We meet one of them right now, Cooper Smith. Cooper, community crew, Niagara Furniture Bank, Toolbox Niagara, on and on and on. You are so involved in the community as a volunteer. What motivates you to do all of this?
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me on. And the motivation started basically when I first became involved with Niagara Furniture Bank back in 2018, just helping out where I could, learning the intricacies about Niagara Furniture Bank and all that they did. What that did is that exposed me to other services that were happening here inside the Niagara region, from Toolbox Niagara to Start Me Up Niagara to the Project Share to Out of the Cold, to Food Day Canada, to the Night of Miracles with Com Crew, and then again back to Niagara Furniture Bank. There was just so much that was happening and so much in need of assistance, not just from a monetary standpoint or a goods and services standpoint, but from a people standpoint. And then what happened or what took place 2 years ago, as we all know, was the pandemic. And literally the volunteer pool was nothing. There was nobody because, as you know, a lot of the majority of the volunteers are seniors, are of that elderly population, and they couldn't go out. So literally one day with Niagara Furniture Bank, Matt Cuthbert got a phone call saying, "Hi, can you help?" And then that pretty much leapt me forward into a lot of organizations here in the Niagara region that were in need of assistance, whether it be driving, whether it be transportation, whether it be going and collecting, whether it be assisting with events, all of those things. So how, where, why, when, and who was the pandemic escalated it when I was driving a truck with almost 6 tons of food to help restaurants redistribute when their restaurants were closed, and they wanted to help out the needy population of those from Port Cares over to the St. Catharines Community, oh my goodness, Community Bank, Betty Lou's place, and then Project Share, and then the food banks and the dailies, everything like that was how it all escalated.
You've really linked up with so many different organizations, so you're really getting a good feel for what is that actually happening in Niagara as far as the need that people are experiencing. What are you seeing in these last 2 years?
The need is rising. The need is escalating. I'm not professing to be an expert. I'm not professing to know the numbers or the statistics. My work with the Niagara Furniture Bank, looking after their data and analytics, seeing the numbers rise, not just in a need assessment standpoint, but from how the needs are being developed. One of the greatest parts of the pandemic was literally everybody had that gift to give. So there was large spikes across the board, everywhere. Everybody, every human being wanted to help people, which was amazing. And now, but there was that pinnacle, that peak where everybody gave, and now there's not much more to give. From a furniture standpoint, from a food standpoint, from a clothing standpoint. I mean, when people had nothing to do, they cleaned out their closets, they cleaned out their pantries, they cleaned out their third and fourth bedrooms that were able to provide for furniture in need. Part of the pandemic, from what I'm able to see, is not when a lot of people were unemployed or losing their jobs or having to relocate or all those things. Those numbers skyrocketed. So it's an interesting phenomenon where people were willing to help, and it was an interesting phenomenon to see there was more and more and more need. Just looking at a couple of organizations that I'm helping with, Com Crew, they have delivered lunches to students throughout the Niagara region, and they are delivering almost 4,300 meals per week with 60 volunteers. The Niagara Furniture Bank, from a number standpoint, they are helping almost between 35 and 45 people per week with their first time apartments, their first time homes. They're getting them off the streets, getting them out of temporary shelters into real shelters or temporary residences that the transitions are able to do. The organizations that are coming together and working together are working bare bone and working to like literally, I mean, you asked me before, what do you do? You sacrifice sleep, you sacrifice eating, and you make things happen for when people need. So that's pretty much it.
Cooper, we are so pleased to hear all of these efforts that you do, and we really appreciate it. Happy National Volunteer Week, and thanks for being such a great volunteer.
Mike, thank you. Thank you to you, your team, your show, and all the people and all your volunteers who are there to help spread the word of what's happening here in Niagara. Thank you, Mike.